So this next drill is for people who tend to find difficulty dropping into a deep squat position. They might find themselves falling forward, or they might have a little bit of pain in their hips. They just never can really get the hip crease past that parallel that we're all looking to do whenever we're doing CrossFit workouts. So for those people, what we're going to do is a quadruped rock back position. We're going to find kind of a comfortable position of the hip, so you're going to play around with this for a little bit. Spend a good 5-10 minutes in these positions just to see what feels comfortable and see if any of these eliminate some of that hip pain that you might be feeling in the front of your hips. So what I'm going to do, I already kind of know my comfortable stance, so I'm going to start out really wide, which is not my comfortable stance at all, and I'm going to drive my feet out to where my knees are almost tracking forward. I'm going to drop into the hands and knees position, which is known as quadruped. And then I'm going to engage my core by breathing in nice and deep, getting my core engaged. That way I don't let my back round as I rock backwards. I'm going to keep my core engaged, and then I'm just going to rock back. And I already feel some discomfort in the front of my hips. That's because my femur and my acetabulum aren't shaped to allow me to drop into a deep squat in this position. So if that's the case, I'm going to come in and I'm going to try the extreme opposite. I'm going to try a really narrow knee position and foot position. So once again, I'm going to get in that quadruped rock, get my core engaged, make sure my back is nice and flat like we do during a squat. And then I'm just going to rock back, and that's much more comfortable for me, but you can tell I kind of run out of space and I can't rock as deep as I'd like to for a deep squat. So I'm going to kind of find my happy medium, which is my usual squat stance. So my feet stay pretty narrow for me, a little bit more narrow than my shoulder width, and then my knees are going to drive out pretty far. My hips like external rotation, they don't have a lot of internal rotation, so the more I can drive my knees out, the more I'm in that hip external rotation and the more comfortable it is for me. So I'm going to find that narrow stance with the knees out. I'm going to bring my arms pretty far forward, engage my core, and then I'm going to rock back, keeping my back straight, and that just feels a lot more comfortable for me, and I can actually drop pretty far. Now to take it to the next step, instead of being up on my hands, I'm going to drop down into my forearms, kind of bringing that trunk forward like I would during a regular squat. And then I'm going to drive my body back using my elbows. So rather than up on my hands and knees, I'm going to be down on my forearms and my knees. I'm going to get my core straight and getting engaged. I'm going to rock back. And then once I'm in this position, I'm really going to drive back. And then as soon as I can't go any further, I'm going to know this is my optimal squat stance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the tissues, and I'm going to keep that core nice and tight, and then I'm going to come up into my squat position. So you can see my feet are pretty narrow, but my knees like to drive out quite a bit, and I'm pretty deep into that squat. And my trunk is upright, not rounding forward. I'm keeping that core engaged. That way I can drop into that deep squat position, and then I can even practice driving out of the hole from that position.